So everything that we do pivots around that combination of creativity and technology, basically. And what we now say we do is create human-centric experiences. We're technology agnostic, so we don't kind of want to use any particular technology for the sake of doing it. But we can use all types of technologies. But at the end of the day, the most important thing is about creating an experience and telling a story, and the technology comes second. It's always to make sure that we deliver the best type of experience. So there can be a lack of empathy between a healthcare professional and a patient. A lack of understanding of what's actually happening from the point of view of the disease itself and how the medication works. And that idea of how do we visualize, first of all, what's happening, maybe at a cellular level, to show the patient what's going on. And there's nothing necessarily new about that piece. That's been going on for a while. But when we create a patient-centric virtual reality experience, it normally has several different aspects to it. The first aspect is showing what life is like from that patient's point of view. And what's important about that is that it helps a healthcare professional understand the patient's point of view. It allows the patient to feel heard and allows the patient to share what it's like for them at some level with their family and friends. The reason that's important is because quite often, especially when the disease is invisible, patients can start feeling isolation. They stop talking about it, about what their challenges are, and that is part of the mental health challenge around around the disease itself. And so we take, with all of that, we try and take digital therapy techniques. So things like, from cognitive behavior, we might use exposure therapy, for example, or we might use stress inoculation training. And we try and take all these things into the experience that we create to help reduce stress levels for the patient, empower them to reduce their own stress levels, and in doing so, in certain cases, depending on what the ailment is and the medication is, help to increase their chances of actually taking the medication correctly. One of the ways virtual reality works, so for example, if you look at a PowerPoint presentation, two parts of your brain fire up. Because you just retain that piece of information. If you're given an immersive, narrative-driven or character-driven story, then 5 parts of your brain fire up. And ultimately what we say is when neurons fire together, they wire together, so they create memories, essentially. And so it's much easier for somebody to recall a memory than it is to recall what you might call two-dimensional information. And so we're able to start literally reprogramming the brain. So as it's much easier for patients to remember to take their medication. It is also, at the same time, it is a tool for doctors. It's like a bridge for doctors to talk to patients as well. So it's something that these experiences, for example, we can put them simply on a mobile phone and use Google Cardboard. So you don't have to have an expensive headset to do this. It can be on YouTube, a YouTube 360. It can be on a private link, but you can send that to the patient and they can just look at it on their phone, or they can put a Google Cardboard, which is just you put your phone into a piece of cardboard and it's like a headset. And they can do it that way as well. And it can allow the healthcare professional to use this as a bridge to communicate to the patient and to allow them to set up a series of questions that the patient might have after the experience, and that, again, that aids that communication. So I think that when it comes to augmented reality, we see, for example, if you're in an operating theatre, that there are so many different things that a surgeon has to look at. There are other screens, heart monitors, and so on and so forth. But if you have a pair of, and you already have your glasses, but if you're able to put augmented reality into the glasses, then the information can be much easier to access. So for example, if you're doing an operation, instead of having to look up and look over your glasses and look at a screen over here, you simply tilt your head up and you can see all the information that you require. You can use voice control to access more of that information and go back down. So it keeps you focused and gives you the power of voice technology and AR to be able to basically support the surgeon and his or her team in what they're doing. There's no doubt that this combination of artificial intelligence, XR technology, voice control and all that sort of thing, I think all of those, getting that combination right for various different instances within the industry, I think there's no doubt that's going to transform the industry. It's going to make things, it's going to improve things significantly.